Welcome to today's video, where we're diving deep into the fascinating world of accountability, leadership, and, yes, Chicago Bears football. Now, we all know the Bears have had their fair share of ups and downs. But here's a fun twist. Thomas Brown is stepping up to the plate and doing what very few coaches do, holding himself accountable from the get-go. Stick around as we break it all down, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with your fellow football fans. So, let's talk about accountability. Not the kind that your parents always nagged you about when you didn't take out the trash, I know. We've all been there, but the kind that comes from leadership. Enter Thomas Brown, the new interim head coach of the Chicago Bears. Brown took charge of this struggling squad with one clear, refreshing message. If we fail together. No finger-pointing, no blaming the referees, and certainly no, it wasn't my fault, excuses. It was a bold statement, especially considering the fact that he had only recently been promoted to offensive coordinator just after the team fired Shane Waldron. Brown wasted no time. At his very first press conference, less than a month into the job, he didn't sit there and give the usual, "We're working hard. We'll improve," speech. Oh no. He went right in with a clear message. Accountability isn't just a buzzword. It's a way of life. And I have to say, it was pretty impressive. Instead of looking like a deer caught in the headlights, he stood tall and said, "I'm not above coaching. I'm not above accountability. We get this done together." Let that sink in for a moment. The coach is saying, "I'm not perfect, and neither are you, but we're gonna make this work." It's the kind of leadership that gives us hope, and probably makes the players sit up straight and think, "Alright, I gotta step up my game." But let's be real, it would have been easy for Brown to talk the talk. Right? I mean, who doesn't love a good motivational speech? But that's not what he did. Oh no, he went one step further. He walked the walk, right there, in front of the cameras. Before anyone even had the chance to ask a question, Brown brought up one of the most painful topics in Bears football history, their nail-biting, heart-wrenching end-of-game losses. Remember those? The Bears suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of the Washington Commanders in late October, thanks to one wild Hail Mary that left their defense looking like they'd just taken a nap. But that wasn't the end of it. No. The Bears also lost 3 consecutive games by a combined total of 7 points, and if you don't think that stings, just ask any Bears fan. We're talking about a blocked kick, an overtime meltdown, and some truly puzzling clock mismanagement. But Brown wasn't here to play the blame game. After all, Matt Eberflus had already been let go. So if anyone was gonna take the fall, it was easy to point fingers in his direction. But not Brown. He wasn't about to throw Eberflus under the bus. And he made it clear, we all have a role in this. And I'm no exception. I know there's a lot of scrutiny, talk, and dialogue about what's happened at the end of some of these games. He said, making it clear that he too was accountable. And then, without missing a beat, he dropped this bombshell. "I am not exempt from responsibility in those actions." Mic drop. And just like that, the coach made it crystal clear, mistakes were a team effort. That is real leadership. So why does this matter? Well, because accountability isn't just about saying, "I'm sorry," after the fact. It's about recognizing where things went wrong and fixing them together. And if there's one thing we learned from Brown, it's that he's not going to sugarcoat things. When the Bears lost to the Lions on Thanksgiving, down 16-0 at halftime, they didn't just roll over and call it quits. No, they came out swinging in the second half, outscoring the Lions 20-7. But the real drama came at the very end, with the Bears having an absolute chance to win, if only they could have managed the clock better. Here's the situation. With 3:31 remaining, the Bears had the ball and a shot at redemption. Rookie quarterback Caleb Williams was throwing darts all over the field, connecting with DJ Moore on a clutch 25-yard third and 7. And later a 21-yard fourth and 4. Williams even scrambled for 14 yards. Then 13 more, keeping the drive alive. But then, cue dramatic music, disaster. The Bears were just 4 yards from field goal range, and the clock was ticking. Instead of calling a timeout, Williams rushed the play. And with 31 seconds left, the clock expired before they could even attempt a field goal. No field goal, no win. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, great, here comes the coach with the usual excuses. But not Thomas Brown. He wasn't about to let his team wallow in the final seconds. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, he focused on what led to those final moments. Brown reminded the offense that there were plenty of missed opportunities before the clock even became an issue. "We dug ourselves into a hole in the first half," he pointed out, acknowledging that they had to claw their way back in the second half. The blame wasn't just about those final 30 seconds, it was about the bigger picture. "We had several opportunities throughout the game," Brown said, urging his team to recognize their collective role in the loss. And guess what? Brown didn't stop there. Instead of pointing fingers, he took full accountability for the situation. "I won't get into the weeds of what was communicated, not communicated, because that's irrelevant," he said. Accountability was his focus, not excuses. "I don't remove myself from accountability in those scenarios." And there it is. A coach who isn't afraid to say, "I could have done better," because he knows that everyone in the locker room could have. That's the leadership the Bears need. So, what can we take away from all this? Well, for one, Thomas Brown is showing us that leadership is all about transparency, honesty, and, most importantly, growth. When mistakes happen, as they inevitably do in football, or, let's be honest, in life, the key is how you respond. Do you point fingers, or do you roll up your sleeves? Learn from it, and move forward? With Brown at the helm, it looks like the Bears are ready to embrace that growth. As the season moves forward, let's hope this approach pays off, not just in terms of wins, but in terms of creating a culture of accountability that can make this team stronger than ever before. The road ahead might be tough, but with a coach who's leading by example, the Bears are in for a bumpy but exciting ride. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Drop a like if you believe in accountability. And share this video with your fellow Bears fans. Let's spread the word and keep the conversation going. See you next time with more updates and insights on your favorite football team. Hey there, football fans. American football, welcome back to the channel, where we bring you all the drama, the highs, and the hilarious lows of the NFL. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that like. And don't forget to share this video with your friends, especially if you want them to witness the latest Bears meltdown. Because trust me, it's a doozy. Now, let's dive into the disaster that was the Chicago Bears Thanksgiving Day game. Buckle up, the ugly locker room incident, when things go from bad to worse for Matt Eberflus. Well, folks, you know things are bad when a head coach gets fired before the turkey even gets carved. But that's exactly what happened after the Chicago Bears' disastrous Thanksgiving Day loss to the Detroit Lions, where a game that was already heartbreaking somehow ended on an even worse note for head coach Matt Eberflus. Spoiler alert, he wasn't fired for losing. He was fired because of how he lost. Let's set the scene, shall we? With only 32 seconds left on the clock and the Bears trailing 23-20. They were driving down the field with a chance to tie the game. This was it, the moment for a game-tying field goal. A glimmer of hope for the 4-8 Bears, who'd already endured more frustration than a third grader trying to learn long division. But in the final moments, what did the Bears do? Nothing. Yes, you heard that right. They failed to call a timeout. Cue the collective facepalms of the entire city of Chicago. The fans? Furious. The front office? Livid. And the players? Well, let's just say the locker room wasn't exactly the picture of calm and composure. According to sources close to the team, the frustration that had been building all season came to a head. The players were apparently so fired up, and not in the good team spirit way, that things got, well, a bit ugly in the locker room. The aftermath. Emotional and pissed players let loose. It wasn't just any regular post-game speech. Coach Eberflus, trying to do his best to hold it together, came out with a typical, "we have to stick together" message. But after the way that game went down, it wasn't exactly what the team wanted to hear. Cornerback Jalen Johnson, a team captain, was reportedly emotional and pissed, and rightfully so. It's hard to stay calm when you're handed a chance to tie the game, and your coach can't even manage a simple timeout. But Jalen wasn't alone in his frustration. Multiple players and even staff members were left scratching their heads, asking, "Why didn't we call a timeout?" In their defense, who wouldn't wonder about that? A game-changing, potentially season-saving moment, and no timeout? That's like forgetting to put gas in the car right before a long road trip. It's not just a minor mistake, it's